Savage Mind Podcast. I'm following up like I said I would. If you tuned into the last podcast, which is only on YouTube right now, again, not trying to go over this every podcast. Whatever you think of my podcast of just up all of these seasons of just me doing it, that is going to change. I'm not going to get in detail. I'm going to recommend you go listen to past podcasts. Uh, in a nutshell, all of my previous seasons are on Spotify and Apple Play and a couple of other platforms. Spotify and Apple Play being the most popular. You can find 2020 till July of 2024 on there, and from July to now, you can only find on YouTube. They changed the criteria, and I opted out of the platform for now because I didn't want to do it. I may be back on there later. So again, 2020 when my podcast started on Spotify, Apple Play. From July of this year, 2024, to now, only on YouTube. In a nutshell, I had I'm not as far as behind as it seems like I am. Oh, you see my glasses? I got two pair of glasses, so you call it age, call it whatever. I'm supposed to be wearing glasses since I was about 6 or 7 years old. I've said this in the past. I wore them off and on pretty much most of the time till I got about 21. I broke them, got tired of fucking with them. Decided not to wear them anymore. I didn't go back to the eye doctor till I was about 45. Eyesight got pretty bad. Lately, it's gotten real bad. So these are my reading glasses. My reading glasses are separate than my wearing glasses. And notice I can't see a whole lot of things. And I quit wearing them because I felt like that my eyesight wasn't improving. That's the way I seen it. If it's not improving it, why am I doing it? If it's not helping me? And maybe it was because I needed to be wearing them to see shit, and now it's took a toll on me. Nobody to hold accountable except for me. So now I'm forced to do so because there's a lot of shit I can't read. So it showed a gap for about a month. I am not where I want to be or plan to be. Always grateful, never satisfied. So I actually had three in the last 4 to 6 weeks I was going to post. Had to switch out some devices, had a phone problem, things like that, and it would not let me download them. So I felt like I needed to do the three over. So I've already did one. I explained that in the last podcast about 4 or 5 days ago, and I decided to jump on here and do this. So today, I'm not going to talk about this today. In my life, in our life, we've had a lot of stuff going on for a long time. Not in our personal life, but a lot of, I guess, like I said, when you reach a certain age, if you're in our age group, give or take 5 or 10 years, you have to, I know this is hard to hear, not an unexpected tragedy, but when you get between about 40 and 50 years old, you have to expect that you're on borrowed time with your parents. So a lot of funerals I've been to or missed lately has been ex-coworkers. Not what I do right now that I've done the last decade almost, but what I did for a little over 20 years. I worked with some of these people for a long time. And when I started there, I was young, and now I'm approaching 50. So some of these people are getting older, and a couple of them were unexpected. They weren't that old. I've probably missed about 5 funerals in the last month, and I've still attended about 4. And today I attended funeral of my classmate. I'm not saying any names. I never do that unless I'm giving a shout out to somebody. Attended a classmate's, not her, but attended a classmate's grandchildren's funeral. Different feeling, different, so heavy. And it's hard to explain this. I'm not saying people don't. Everybody cares. Most people care, even though I think that most humans are not as good as we think we are. And I think that you either pretend to be a good person or you're not. It's that simple. It's different when it's children, man. And some of these funerals I've been to lately, they may not have been the life expectancy. They might have been early 60s, early 70s, mid 70s, things like that. But got to live some kind of life. These children were 3 and 9, and they were in the same age range of a couple of our grandkids, and it really hit home. And me and this girl went to school together. Elementary, we were classmates, same graduating class, things like that. And then our one of my daughter and her daughter were the same age and were classmates, and I'd never want to attend one of them again. I don't, even for even for people I don't care for. I mean, I don't. Just because you don't care for somebody, I mean, I'm not even saying these people, man. My heart hurts for these people, man. I mean, we don't spend very much time together, class reunions, we're on social media together, but they're friends, man. And at one time, a lot of us were like family, and may not spend much time together now, but if you're a parent or a grandparent, especially, you feel it on a different level, and we still can't even pretend to feel it like they do. Nor do I want to. Nor do I wish it. When I say worst enemy, I always think, what's our enemy? What is, if we don't like someone? What is it for? Did they do something to us? Did we do something to them? Um, gotta wish, gotta watch out wishing people bad or bad things. There's people I don't care for. I don't care if I see them again. They don't care if they see me again for whatever reason. But if I haven't examined what I've did to them or what they did to me, I don't wish them bad. I just don't want to be around them. But this family's going to need whatever you believe in, your higher power or God or religion, whatever it is. Family's going to need prayers and understanding for the rest of their life, because they don't understand right now, and I wouldn't either. And there's nothing we could say. Just like I told, there's nothing I don't have the words, and it's very not very often I don't have the right words, or I don't have something to say and I don't have nothing to say. I feel like as a class and as a friend, we need to show up for some kind of support. I'll talk about that later. What I think about people being authentic and sincere and genuine and genuinely good people. What do we think that is? Do we really know what that is? Do we think we know what that is? Like I said, you're a good person, or you pretend to be. It's not your acts. It's not what you show on social media. It's your character. So I wanted to jump back on here and do another podcast. Let me talk about this for a minute. And I just that was the mood for today. So, and it's raining, it's cold, and it's just, I don't pretend to know how them people feel. I know the stuff I've been through, and most people couldn't handle it. And I don't want to know what that's like. I've dealt with enough in my life, and I don't wish that on anybody. So, just want to get back on here. Now, the thing is, I didn't plan to implement that in the podcast, but we just left there a few hours ago, and it's so heavy on my mind, I couldn't ignore it. So let me talk about this real quick, and I'm sure I'm going to leave something out. So one of the podcasts I did that didn't download was I always do something after a challenge. I've quit calling them races. I've quit calling them races because I'm not racing anyone. I'm only and again, I'm not competing with anyone. We're competing. Some people feel that way. I don't. I'm competing with myself. I'm challenging myself. I'm always trying to improve myself. Self-education, health, finances. That's still got a long way to go. Training, family, knowledge, experiences, quality time, anything valuable. If it's not, even if it's just fun, if it's not, then I don't really make a lot of time for it. So one of them was, when I get done with an ultra, I usually do a podcast on it. So the last couple of years, I haven't did near as many ultras as I planned. And let me say this and be completely transparent, like I am about most things, directly related to money. Here's the thing: there's time. We can't give up our money and time. Right now, I'm starting to get time. I have more time. My schedule and everything that I do is really working for me, but I don't have enough money. The idea is to make those things cohesive and work together, and I usually have one and not the other. I canceled 5 ultras this year. I went ahead and did my training, and I do a lot of virtual ultras and things like that I have done over the years, if you keep up, but not just the Goggins challenge, but other stuff that we dial in on an app. I don't use the app. I don't use a lot of things. I don't get on what you call Strava or Garmin or any of that stuff. I don't do that. That's not what I do. And so I want to talk in the next podcast more about I've talked a little bit about it. I did a couple of TikTok short videos on it, but I want to dive in deep what ultra trail running means to me. I'm going to do that in another podcast, but I wanted to talk about this because I didn't do close to what I had planned. So the way I calculate things, whether it be the house projects, whether it be trips, whether it be education, whether it be my ultras, whether it be finances, whatever it is. I calculate what my goals were and the deadlines I gave myself and how far I'm off on that, how far how far off, far as a time frame, how far I'm off per scale, and how much I missed my target dates and why. Why did I miss them? Were they legitimate? Am I lying to myself? Or they, or they just, or is it just bullshit? And this was real. Everything that's went on the last couple of years, like almost the last few years, was real. I just didn't have it. Just couldn't do it. So I might sign up for an ultra. It might be $160, but depending on where it's at, and mainly I do everything in Texas. Texas is a big state. Texas is probably 3 or 4 of other states, but let's just say I'm going to get down there an extra day ahead of time. That's not much, and I'm going to stay an extra day. Sometimes, most of the time, I don't even do that. I'd like to sometimes. Some of these places are cool places. I'd like time to get down there, get my anxiety under control. Usually have to do packet pickup the day before. Usually, depending on how long it is. Again, I haven't conquered everything I plan to conquer. Understand this. I'm still going to conquer it. I figure I'm about 2 years off right now from where I wanted to be. But I'm further years off on other things. But this year, coming up on 2025, because of what has just took place in our life, it isn't nothing. Look, we didn't hit the fucking lottery, anything like that. We just made some major life. We just overcame some major life obstacles, and our life's turned into 180, about to turn into a 360. So this year is a big transition year for us coming up. This year sets the tone for the next 3 or 5. Understand that? I'll talk more about it later. So I plan on making up everything that I didn't do the last 2 years. I did something. I just didn't do what I wanted to do. So like I say, I had one ultra planned in November. It's about 9 hours away. It was one I feel like I need to get under my belt again. I did it once. Plan on getting down there on the Friday. It's packet pickup. Sign all your waivers. I got down there about 5 or 6 hours before that. Last time I did this 2 years ago, I got down there that day. I had to be there to check in. And most time ultras, there's one, sometimes two, most time one start time. That's the difference of these type of challenges. Again, I might accidentally call them races again, but I'm trying not to. Because they're so long. Even if it's ultra, let me explain this again. Ultra is 30 miles and up. I only do trail or rural area competitions, stuff like that. So I've had someone actually ask me, well, I seen you do shorter Spartan races. You're right. If I do the shorter Spartan races, now that I've implemented my oldest granddaughter in it, and I'll be implementing the other grandkids in this next couple of years. They haven't done a lot, but they've done, the oldest one, she's done 3 or 4. This year, I'll make her step up, and the other 2 grandkids will start their first one. If I do the shorter ones, I do all 3 of them in a weekend. Not too long for me. Doesn't mean I kick ass. Doesn't mean I'm out there kicking ass and taking names. It means it's my goal. Again, I'm trying to get the mileage, but really, I only do ultras. Let me explain this. I'm gonna get into this in the deep conversation about what ultra trail running means to me. I'm an ultra trail runner. Ultra over 30 miles. That's anything 30 miles or up. Only trail runs. I don't do road racing. I don't do Dallas Marathon. I don't do the Fort Worth Marathon. I don't do anything that I'm worried about my pace or my time or competing with people. Understand that. I'll dive deep into that. When I do Spartan, my goal is Spartan Ultra. If I do the shorter races, I do all of them in either one day or one weekend. This year, I won't do any of that. I'll go out there and take my grandkids because of what I have lined up. I will probably do the Spartan Ultra, and that'll be it, along with my other ultras. Again, Spartan Ultra doesn't mean ultra. Ultra is a term, 30 miles and up. This race I was talking about, let's say if I get there, last time I got there on Friday, race start time the next morning was 6 a.m. Need to be out there about 30 minutes early. It's a 50 plus mile race, around 50 or a little bit more. I think it was 50 miles. For me, it took that whole day, and then you're shot after that, whether you finish or not. I finished the last one. Next day, Didn't even have time to recover. Ate breakfast, got in the truck, drive all the way home. I'm still glad I got to complete it and get a hotel room for a couple of nights, have some good meals, and had the mamacita with me and the oldest grandkid. I thought since we're going by ourselves this year, we'll only stay a couple extra days. Get down there on Friday early, check in, sign all my waivers, do the race on Saturday. I'll have to spend mostly all day Sunday recovering, trying to take an ice bath, trying to get in it. If they have a hot tub, soak in Epsom salt, eat, watch movies, whatever. Get something to eat, go out to eat, whatever. I said, why don't we stay a couple extra days for us? We need the privacy. We need the time away. It's not a vacation, but it's a getaway when we're by ourselves. Not a lot to some people. Signing up for my race, those days in the hotel, gas, all that stuff, about $1,500 or about close to $2,000. That quick. If I couldn't do that this time and I had to come back that weekend, I just opted out. So at least 4, probably out of the 6 ultras I had planned last year, I'm doing this year, and I'll be able to do them. So I'm 2 years off. 2 years off of my goals. Not what nobody's requiring me to, my goals. So I should be where I had planned to be last year, about 2 years ago, where I planned to be about last April. My goals and target dates for what I've written down and planned, I should hit that probably about this time next year. Hopefully sooner, but at the very least, this time next year. I'm still going to do my training. I'm still going to hammer. I'm still going to grind. That's just the breaks. But this year, a lot changes. A lot changes for us. So I did the Spartan Ultra. I only got 2 ultras in this year. One was virtual. No, see, one was in Austin. I take that back. One was in Austin. It was only a 50K trails. It had a lot of elevation and a lot of rugged terrain. And this one, Spartan Ultra, was a 50K. So I only got 2 in this year. I had 6 planned. A couple of times I was all trained up and still didn't get to do it. We planned it. A couple of times we booked the room and I had to cancel it. The 2 I did, Austin, I was only there for a weekend, turned around, came back. This other one was in Granbury, Texas. I drove back and forth the same day. I had to get up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to get ready to do it. I don't mind, but thing is, it helps you when you can get a room and you can stay closer and you don't have to be in a hurry. Because to me, like sitting in the truck a couple hours throws me off a little bit. Not that I want to wake up at the last minute, but I want to wake up, I want to be prepared, man. For 30 plus miles, I can do that. For 50 and up, I can't do that. I need to be at the location and I need to be there early. So this was my 4th Spartan Ultra. And this wrapped up a decade of Spartan for me. Minus, I think, 1 year I had some issues going on, couldn't do it, in COVID. So technically what I'm saying is I started doing Spartan 10 years ago. I've got away from the smaller races. It's hard for me to talk about it, man, because I never go for places and stuff. Like I told someone, I said, there's a couple of times I missed for my age group in the middle distances. Like the Spartan Super at the time was my best race, I thought. Not sponsored, not elite, not badass. There's a couple of times I got top 5 out of my age group and didn't even know it. I missed podium a couple of times by a couple of minutes. I never posted about it because like these last 2 Spartan Ultras where I didn't hit my goal either time, and the first 2 I did. Again, different terrain, different course. 2 times on the same course, I was around the same time parameters. What's a trip about this Spartan Ultra? I only can speak for Texas because that's all I've done. I'm not a fucking Spartan expert. I never claimed to be. To the people that's done 100, 200, 300 races, I don't know anything. But for people who haven't did it or just getting into it, I guess I know a lot. 10 years, I don't know how many races I've done. I've done 4 Spartan Ultras. I've probably done 30 or 40 races of just Spartan all together, counting a sprint, super, beast, and ultra. I'm only focused on the ultras right now. I need the distance. 2 years in a row, this terrain, 30 miles up the road, or not, excuse me, not 30, 10 miles up the road. In 2021, where that ultra was, Spartan Ultra was, I did the same distance, same parameters, same penalty laps, same whatever, obstacles, burpees, not that many burpees anymore. I did the same distance in 3.5 hours less. Twice. Both times on this course, it took me 3 more hours. Crazy. That's why you can't go by that in ultra trail running. It's not road. It's not flat. These people, some of the, this is the thing I'll talk about in the next podcast. A lot of a lot of road runners, or whatever level they're at, whether they're weekend warriors, whether they're, I know a lot of people that hammer and grind, and I give respect to all levels. That some of them run super slow, but they still cover the same distance, even if it's a power walk. Ultra trail running, being an ultra trail endurance athlete is what I am. It's walking is the plan from the beginning. It's walking, running, jogging, barely moving, climbing, sitting. It's everything you can do to finish. A lot of road runners don't like us. They don't like us because we're not worried about our pace and place. They don't say it. Some of them don't say it, but it bothers them. Why we're not concerned with that. Again, I do, I'm not a heavy weightlifter anymore, and I haven't been in years, but I do other things. Like I do pull-up challenges and push-up challenges and stuff like that. And I still lift weights probably 6 to 10 days a month for conditioning, but I don't lift heavy to gain bulk or get jacked. Whatever fitness you see me at, that's just, my running comes first. And running eats a lot of muscle. So, finished up the year with Spartan Ultra. The year didn't turn out how I wanted it to at all. Neither did last year, but this year was worse. And most of number 2. Next year, when I say Ultra, again, every Ultra I have planned will not be Spartan related. I'll do one Spartan Ultra. What am I going to do with Spartan going forward? I don't know. If I had them, I meet people out there that are doing have dedicated a whole year to going to every state or doing a trifecta every time. Do I think I can accomplish it? Not being cocky, being confident? Absolutely I can. I know I can. Depends on the money. Look, if I do a trifecta Spartan weekend, just here in the same state, those 3 races, if I do 3, like a Spartan Ultra is going to cost me damn near $300 just for that. That may not be looking, it's not a lot. I guess it depends on your income. Depends on how much you got to be off of work. Depends on, travel time, vacation, room, food, gas, whatever. If I do a trifecta weekend, where I do a trifecta in a weekend, even here, if I do, say, I live about 30 miles south of Dallas. If I go to Houston or Austin or San Antonio or somewhere, I'm going to do a triple header weekend. I'm going to need a room from Friday to Sunday. At least that's the minimum. Between that, my fees, food, gas, looking at over $1,000. And that's the minimum. That's keeping it frugal and budget. So if you do that in 3 or 4 different states, what is that? Hey, I ain't mad at people that can do it. Maybe I do that. I guess in the back of my mind, I wanted to say I accomplished 100 races of Spartan. I don't know why that number. Let's just throw that out there. I know a guy that's done 200 or 300 Spartan, has done 600 total with the American flag. I've talked about him before. He's about 6 years younger than me. He's retired military, no kids, no family. He's dedicated his life to it. I fucking love animals like that. Do I think I could do it? Sure. It's different. I had a family. I've been a parent for over 30 years. I've been a grandparent for over 10. I got a family, other responsibilities. Not down it. I'm not hating on them. I admire it. I respect it. If you don't have those things, I fucking love the way that people have found a purpose. Family, maybe kids and spouse and other things, and staying at the same job for years ain't for everybody. I wish a lot of I love that my family's for me. That's the most important thing to me. Never look. If you know me, you know that's true. I wish certain things wouldn't have been for me when I was younger. I wish I'd discovered that. I wouldn't have done certain things. Years at a job, decades that you unhappy, or you don't even have to be unhappy, just unsatisfied. Find your fucking purpose. Figure out your fucking purpose and figure out your life. And your life revolves around your purpose. Not, if you don't have a purpose, you fill it with other voids. It's just like people who need to fill it with material things. You don't understand that's what it is. If you're, to me, my purpose is so strong. Everything that encompasses my purpose. Nothing else comes first. Now I might have to adjust things and move things around, but none of the other things come first. everything that's about my purpose, which is not just ultra running. It's my family, it's my speaking, it's my message, it's my testimony. This podcast, whatever you think about it, these are all things that are my purpose. And I don't revolve what kind of material things I want, how many hours I'm going to work, a job, an employer, any of that. That don't come first. That sounds crazy to people. No, I'm going to work those things around my purpose. My purpose in this life, the impact I make on my loved ones and people, the impact, the imprint I leave on them, the message I leave on this earth is more important than any material thing I can buy, any job I work, any money I make, my salary, my house, my car, my truck, whatever it is. That comes first. So, again, and probably in a lot of podcasts, y'all hear the same shit. I might jump and go to something else. I know when I'm interviewing somebody or we're talking or holding a conversation, that won't happen. Sometimes it'll still happen, but I'd apologize, but I know I'm gonna do it again. So I just want to talk about wrapping up the fourth Spartan Ultra. So that's 10 years of Spartan. Fourth Spartan Ultra. I think that made Ultra number 12 for me, counting virtual ones. Yes, I've done about 4 or 5 virtual Ultras, so there was no medal involved. Some people wouldn't even do that. Look, I like getting a medal upon completion. The shirt alone, the shirt is crazy. Getting the shirt and the medal that you wouldn't get if you didn't complete it is fucking reward enough for me. And going to eat a good meal, having a few cold beers. We spend too much time in reward. That's a reward. But sometimes just the completion, when I've signed up with some couple of those virtual ones on the app, people doing it around the globe, it's cool, man. And the thing is sometimes it's very budget friendly because I can go pick a location, whether it be on my home trail, the state park or somewhere like that. So sometimes I'm still going to do them because I was like, well, it's only a 30-mile drive or a 10-mile drive and I can dial in on the app and get started. It makes practical sense. Not all the time, but sometimes it does. So 22 years of distance running, whatever that is, whatever you think that's accomplished or not. 10 years of Spartan, 4 years of ultra running. It's December 2024, and I want to recalibrate. And I'm doing the basics right now, what I call maintenance mode. I'm just in maintenance mode, but I will ramp it up this year. Remember when I told you that? So anybody's got any? Here's the thing: is more people do Spartan than they do ultras. Remember this: 1% of the world will complete them. It seems like more do that. I talked about this. 1% of the world will do marathons. That's road races, whatever. Less than 1%. It's less than that for ultra endurance athletes. It's less. It's like, I look it up. It's like 0.01%. But a lot of people do Spartan. I still probably think it's less than 2%. Spartan is a bigger, more well-staffed. It's a global event, no doubt. It's a cool atmosphere. There's a lot of people out there. And I feel like the camaraderie and the brotherhood for everyone is pretty great. You'd want to be a part of it even if you were a spectator. Just go watch. But if you got any questions on Spartan, what the different levels are, what to expect, if you've never done it, even if you're going to go out and walk it, reach out to me. I'll talk to you about it. In the meantime, y'all stay humble, live savage.